Hey everybody, how we doing today? I'm Michael Crowley, I'm your golf professional, coming to you from my backyard. We got a nice day out here, it's about 45 degrees, the sun's shining, very little wind out here, so I thought I'd get out of the basement and get outside for a little bit and try and help you guys out with your golf game today. Today we're going to hit a couple little wedges. I have my mat back here, I have my practice balls, I have a target green out there that's about 14 yards away to the center of it. It's about 10 yards to the front, and it's about 18 yards to the back. It's typically where our pool is, so in the summer I can't really hit some chip shots back here because I don't want to learn to see my ball go in the water. So today's a perfect opportunity to do that. So we're talking about our wedges. Number one, what wedges should we have in our bag? Okay, a lot of times it's really very random, and we'll talk a little bit more about bounce and grinds and different things like that. But if you're someone who takes big divots a lot, you're going to want more bounce. If you're someone who's more of a picker of the golf ball and skims the grass a little bit more, you're going to want a little less bounce. That's as simple as we can get when we're talking about that. But then also, what do we do when we want to decide what wedges we want in our bag? Well, in our set of golf clubs, we get to our pitching wedge. We need to know what loft that is, okay? So my pitching wedge is 46 degrees. So I want to go every 4 degrees to keep an even gap between all my clubs. So I have a 50-degree wedge, a 54, and a 58, okay? I used to carry a 52, a 56, and a 60. I've changed that up recently just with a new set of clubs. The wedge came in a little bit differently. So there's some practice to be done with them. But definitely getting some good workout with them here and understanding how they fly and how they work around the greens as well. Now typically when we're chipping or we're pitching, we want to get the ball on the ground rolling as soon as possible. If I had to throw something to a target, I wouldn't throw it as high as I possibly could and then hope it landed there. Typically I'm going to pitch something underhand. It's going to land a third, a quarter, a halfway to the hole there, and it's going to run the rest of the way there. So typically when you're looking at hitting your chip shot, we want to know where our golf ball is going to land. That is number one. Most people think, where do I want to get it to? Okay, great. But if I hit my 50-degree wedge, I'm going to fly it probably, depending on the speed of the greens, I am probably going to fly it about a quarter to a third of the way to the hole. If I'm hitting my 54, I'm going to do it just over a third of the way to the hole. And if I'm hitting my 58, on a typical stock shot, I'm going to hit it about halfway to the hole and let it roll the rest of the way there, especially on a little 15-yard shot where the hole is. Now, one thing we need to know then too is if I can make the same swing with different golf clubs, I can just change the trajectory, all right, and I can change the distance of how far it's going to go, but keeping the same swing. So that's number one. We want to find out where our golf ball is going to land and when we do it. We talked a little bit with our putting yesterday about symmetry. And when I swing this wedge here, I want the golf club, I want to feel like it goes the same distance back and the same distance through. And when I hit this, make this little swing, my body's got to rotate with it as well when it goes forward, okay? A lot of times people say you got to stay really stiff and tired. Well, then it's all hands and wrists there. We want the head of the golf club, our sternum, and our hips, our trail hip, to be moving forward at the same pace, okay? So we want to get this going nice and simple and easy. And a lot of times when we do this, just hit some shots out and see where they land. Let's try this practice without trying to be real specific about where the golf ball ends up, but where it lands to start and how it reacts once it hits the green. And I like to do that with about 5 or 10 different shots with each club, so I really get a good feel for, hey, this swing from here to here goes this distance in the air. From here to here, it goes this distance in the air. And then we can figure out how much it's going to run and figure that out as well. At Morningstar, what I do, actually, I have a great short game test. It takes about an hour to go through it, and it's a wonderful gauge on how we are with our short game, and it goes from putting, chipping, all the way back to 80, 90-yard shots. So it really is a great tool to figure out where we really need to focus our practice in. But for today, I'm really just going to work on this little shot here where it's just basically I'm feeling like the golf club gets about parallel to the ground and it finishes about parallel to the ground. And I want to feel like it has the same speed back and through. And again, I get it back here, my sternum, my right hip is working at the same pace as the club head. And all I'm going to really focus on is where the ball ends up and lands. Okay? Perfect. So that one landed about the middle of the green with my 58. So about 14 yards. Now I'm going to grab my 54. I'm going to make that same swing. And I'm getting some practice swings in so I can do a couple things. I can feel the rhythm of the swing a little bit. And one thing to note too, when I take the golf club back, I see a lot of people take the club back this way. Well, how am I going to hit the golf ball if this is my target line here? How am I going to hit the ball to that target if on a short swing I get it back here? I want that golf club in front of me. See how if we look in a mirror or something, it's in front of this trail shoulder right here. We don't want to get it back here. Then our hands have to get really involved. And that's where we hit those skulls and fats and things like that. So keep that golf club in front of us. All right, so I'm all set up, my 54. Perfect. That one landed on the back of the green about 18 yards. So it flew about 4 yards farther. It was a little lower, so it's going to run a little bit more. And now I take my 50 degree. And again, I'm going to make some practice swings to get a feel for how I want the golf club to swing. And what ends up happening, if I take the golf club back to here and it stops here, that means I'm slowing down as I get to impact, okay? And that's going to cause some problems. I'll see a lot of people too, they'll get to here and then they'll swing through all the way to here. That tells me that there's too much acceleration through there. We want some symmetry in our backswing and our forward swing. Boom. Trying to feel it so it's about parallel to parallel. That comes out a little bit lower. It flies about 3 to 4 more yards farther than my other clubs, and it's going to roll a little bit more as well. So when you're stuck in a situation and you don't have to carry anything, you can just change your golf clubs and make the same swing that you made. Now we can take that a step farther as well. Once you get those down there, now I'm going to feel like I get the golf club, or maybe I get my hands and my arm to about parallel to the ground, back and through. And now I just hit that one off the fence. Ground rule double. Anyway, practice your wedges. Make sure you have the proper gapping between your wedges as well. We can definitely help you out with that at Morningstar, with Titleist, with the Vokey wedges, with TaylorMade, with Callaway. We can fit you for your wedges. It's very important to get fit for those as well. But I appreciate you guys coming out. Hopefully you got out to enjoy a beautiful day today. Please follow my YouTube page, like it, make any comments that you would like to at the bottom, any tips you would like to see as well. I hope everybody's staying safe. Again, I am Michael Crowley, and I am your golf pro.